Don't pay a quarter, don't pay a dime, don't pay a penny, don't waste your time. If half a penny is all he asks, don't give him any. Lay off his tracks, my half a penny is what he'll say. Still a steep price, just walk away.
Good afternoon, Hint Nation, folks, cats, and everything in between and beyond. My name is Roy, the host of my Pennies and the host of these post-game Pennies. Fifth straight loss, this time against the Toronto Raptors at home, dropping our home record to 10-4, and just basically getting to 14-12, which is just two above 500. Not really the best place for us to be. From first to third, now we are 15 points per game, 120.7. The averages, of course, are dropping. We're still eighth in rebounds per game. We are still fifth, actually. We dropped to fifth in assists per game. And we are still at 22nd in opponents' points allowed per game. Obviously, you can see my voice. I'm very disappointed. I'm disappointed because they had us fooled. Oh my God, they had us fooled. They showed us such an amazing blueprint for everything that should work out right. And then all of a sudden, everything kind of starts to break up at the seams, right? I sometimes confuse my expressions. It's just the way it is. And again, I'm only wearing this mask because what's beneath it is worse than that. But we look at the first question that I had yesterday when they scratched Hero late in the game. First of all, I asked myself, does this have anything to do with perhaps a trade that's looming? Because this kind of late scratch to me is always suspicious, right? Did you not have this irritation before the game, or you're saying, no, I can brave it out, and then you found out you couldn't, which both of those could be. We don't know, right? But then I don't understand why Simone Fontecchio was the one chosen to be. And I understand that thus far, we've had combinations of lineups where we had Bam and Ware. And in many of those stretches, especially with Ware coming off the bench, we haven't seen that good play, right? We've seen that we play better when we're smaller. But I think that doesn't necessarily count into consideration or take into consideration the fact that Ware had to kind of play with Bam at a time if we wanted to, when we didn't have Hero as an option. And all of a sudden now we don't have Hero, and Spoing, putting Simone Fontecchio there as basically what would be a power forward. I don't understand that. Simone Fontecchio gave us exactly 3 points, a -7, 2 personal fouls, 2 turnovers. He did give us a block, 2 assists, and 4 defensive rebounds. And he had 26 minutes. 26 minutes. Jaime Jaquez, in 20 minutes, had a -6 with 10 points, 2 personal fouls, 5 turnovers, 3 steals, 4 assists, and 3 defensive and 1 offensive rebound. And this is just kind of putting things into perspective, right? Andrew Wiggins with a -1, 10 points, 3 personal fouls, 1 turnover, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 2 assists, and 2 offensive rebounds. Bam Adebayo with a -5, scoring 20, with 2 personal fouls, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, 2 assists, 10 rebounds, all of them defensive. And Normal Powell with a -9 with 20 points, 3 turnovers, pretty much 2 of those pretty much at the same time almost. 4 assists and 1 offensive rebound and 2 defensive rebounds. Then we had Davion Mitchell with a -4, 12 points, 2 personal fouls, 2 turnovers, 1 block, 2 steals, 4 assists, 4 defensive rebounds. Drew Smith with a -10, 11 points, 2 personal fouls, no turnovers, no blocks, 2 steals, 2 assists, 3 defensive, and 3 rebounds. 2 of those offensive. Khalil Ware had a -7, 6 points, 1 personal foul, 3 turnovers, 2 blocks, no steals, no assists, 13 rebounds, 3 of those offensive. Nikola Jovic played 12 seconds, and then he's got an injury that I think will take him out for a while. We don't know. I haven't read anything about Jovic, but he just looked very bad. And it seems like whatever he has is just like Pilla Larson being scratched because of a bad, ankle twist. Same thing is going to be with Nikola Jovic, but I think that gives us a little bit of room because honestly, Keshad Johnson in 13 minutes had a -1. Had I think the best record there, but 4 points, no personal fouls, no turnovers, no blocks, no steals, 2 assists, and 2 defensive rebounds. So I think that Keshad Johnson's, and I already heard that before, Keshad Johnson should be inserted into that rotation in lieu of having Simone and Jovic playing well. And now Jovic is injured. Now 106-96, 45 rebounds apiece, 33 rebounds to them, so 13 more than us. Sorry, 33 assists to them, so 13 more than us. We had 12 steals. They had 9, 7 blocks apiece. We had 18 turnovers, so they lose with 19 turnovers. But again, we shot 42% from we shot 42% from any point on any range. 47.7 versus 47.7 to them. And again, 29% 3-point, not that bad, but again, the amount of 3 points taken and a whole bunch of other things, 40% to them again, right? And it seems like that's happening on a constant basis. Like we're under 30 and opponents are over 40 minimum. And then free throws, 73%, 74% free throws is just unacceptable. I mean, regardless of the situation, you lose by 10, you want to get all your free throws done, right? Points to the paint, they had 2 more, 44-42. Second chance points, they had 2 more, 16-14. Fast break points, we had 19-9. And yet it doesn't seem to have mattered. We have basically been figured out, right? The reason that the bench suffered a decline, the reason that our threes are not falling is because people figured out how to defend us better, in the perimeter, how to defend us better mid-range, how to stop Jaime for driving because they kind of understand how drive it. That could be his nickname. How Jaques actually goes to kind of tries to navigate through the paint, and that's been taken out because he's been having to rely more on bank shots and floaters and mid range in general, and as opposed to actually going to the rim and getting layups or anything of the sorts. I haven't seen any kind of action of lobbing that's been significant in the past 7 games. And again, obviously, we cannot even mention Hero in this conversation, but obviously, if Hero needs to come back, if Hero is going to be included in a trade that's going to bring us Giannis, there is zero question about it, right? You just want to have a competitive team with Giannis. I just don't see how Giannis would be compelled to come to Miami Heat because the same affliction that we had last season and the same affliction that we had in the preseason, now we're seeing in the regular season, which is blowing up leads, being able to score at stretches, but not being able to stop scoring. Well, at least the defense has decreased its ability. And of course, now you have injuries piling up, which was already an issue before with Norman Powell and Tyler Hero. Now we have more injuries piling up. Now Spo has fewer choices, let's just say, for the starters. And yet, I don't understand how he came to the conclusion that it's better to have it's better to have Simone Fontecchio start versus Ware. I think Ware. Unfortunately, the narrative that Raf disagrees with me that Weir could be better coming up, starting as opposed to coming off the bench. It's the player we have. Yeah. Granted, I hope he's straight. I don't necessarily hope he's straight if it's not for a good player, but I hope he's included in the package for trade because I think that it does have an on and off switch that sometimes it just turns off. I didn't see that necessarily yesterday so much. It gave us, like Raf even admitted, it gave us a good first half. But again, coming off the bench, and then Simone is starting and getting. So I think he was the last one to be subbed off in the first quarter for the first rotation change. I just can't. I don't see how those rotations are helping us. I don't see how we're adapting well. I just continue to see experimenting. And honestly, after a 4-game loss and 5 days rest, which I already said in the previous video, the more days we rest, it seems the more losses we have. We lost the only game that we had after 4 days rest, and we lost the only game that we had after 5 days rest. But we won games with 2 days rest and no days rest. So when you're 4 in the hole, it's not time for experimenting. I do not understand what Spo was trying to do. What was the mentality there? Where had worked with this lineup before, but that was not going to be the solution, right? It was not going to be the solution. just normal Powell turning the ball over those kind of 2 consecutive times and then a third one, not much after that. Just the fact that everybody has a negative. Nobody was able to actually positively impact the floor. No, with the exception of Jovic that basically just got in to get fouled, and then Kashad Johnson to shoot the fouls. I think he got the 2 free throws. But that's it. Nothing else to add. We haven't figured out. We don't know what's going to happen because of the trade season. We don't know what's coming. We don't know what's not coming. Sorry, guys. Stimming up a lot. We don't know what's coming. We don't know what's not coming. And yeah, I'm try to be optimistic, and I want to be optimistic, but I have to admit when things are not exactly going the way that they're supposed to be going, and this is what we're seeing. Just as a perspective, okay, perspective. Um, Jimmy Butler was traded in February. Before Jimmy Butler was traded, we were miserable playing basketball. So there is still, and then our season did improve. We were out of play-in contention until after that trade, and then we got a little bit better. But there's still time. Obviously, I just don't know that I have the faith because seeing Fontecchio in the starting lineup makes me feel bad. I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't make sense, right? To me, I am not Spo. I'm not going to criticize Spo. I know he had a reason for that. I'm not a coach. I'm not a specialist. I know there is a reason to have a big body guy, etc. Like Raf explained. Still think that was too much experimenting for such an important game. You know, next game is going to be important too. We don't want to drop 6 and then 7, which we dropped last season for the first time in I don't know how many years. So stay safe, stay dry, stay as warm as possible, and stay as happy as possible. It's a very complicated world of ours, and let's go Heat.